Good morning, welcome to Ainslie News. It's Thursday, 10th of September. Today we're talking silver and the lost silver and why that's good. When asked why gold and silver have intrinsic value, the answer is ultimately about how rare it is and the fact it can't simply be expanded at whim like fiat currency can, and currently is being expanded. As you can expand the supply of monetary asset, you dilute or debase its intrinsic value. Fiat currency has none. It's a piece of plastic backed by nothing more than the promise of a government who's printing more of it, hand over fist. New gold supply is historically consistent, at around 2% or less per year. Lost gold is relatively insignificant, as its industrial uses are nowadays comparatively minor, and even then efforts are made to recover where possible due to its value. Where gold is lost to the markets, where it is bought by generational long-term holders like the Chinese and to a similar extent central banks. That is why of nearly the $12 trillion value of all the gold ever mined, experts say there is really only 1.5 to maybe 2 trillion available to the investment market, compared to over 300 trillion in financial assets. That is both minuscule and tantalizing from a growth potential on the price supply demand equation, where even a fraction of that $300 trillion takes fright and tries to get into it. Back in June, we discussed the plummeting silver supply issue during this pandemic amid exploding demand. Silver today remains hard to get hold of and supply is slow. Whilst another shipment arrives tomorrow providing surplus stock, some Ainslie customers have been waiting 2 weeks for silver kilo bars, and most other bullion dealers are stating 4 to 6 week waits and longer. The market is tight and freight channels to carry it in this pandemic are disrupted and expensive. The guys at SRS Rocco report recently to the amount of silver lost to industrial and photographic consumption. Some analysts suggest there is a great deal more silver in what they label as above-ground inventories in the world, but fail to mention that the majority of that amount is locked up in industrial components and equipment and landfill, never to be recycled. To provide an estimate of the lost silver supply from the industrial sector since the year 2000, we looked at the data from the Silver Institute World Silver Survey and the Metals Focus 2015 Silver Scrap Supply Report. This is just a basic estimate, which we will revise in more detail for SRS Rocco Report Silver and Gold members in an upcoming report. However, since 2000, the industrial and photographic sectors of the silver market consumed 11.5 billion ounces of silver. The estimated total recycled silver from the industrial and photographic sector was approximately 3.5 billion ounces. In the last 2 decades, 8 billion ounces of silver supply is likely lost forever. Check out this next chart here, showing total industrial and photographic consumption, total estimated industrial photo recycling, and total estimated lost supply. That is one lot of silver. Thus, 70% of total industrial and photography consumption over the past 20 years is no longer available to the market. We believe it's gone forever, or let's say the overwhelming majority of that 8 billion is likely lost forever. Now, if we add up the total silver demand from 2000 to 2020, it equals a bit more than 20 billion ounces. So with 8 billion ounces of the 20 billion unavailable to the market, that equates to 40% of the total market is now somewhere in silver heaven. Compared to that, only 7 to 8% of the gold supply lost in the industrial technology sector over the past decade. Silver rallied strongly in July, taking the gold-silver ratio from the hundreds to the low 70s, where it has paused since, taking the breath it had to take after rocketing up from US $17 to US $30 in the matter of a month. However, even at 70 to 1, that is still historically high when one looks at the circa 45 to 1 100-year average. Both gold and silver have played the role of monetary metal for 5,000 years. Silver's growing industrial use, particularly in disposable products like electronic devices and solar panels, makes something rare and of intrinsic value all the rarer. Remember too, over half of silver supply comes as a byproduct of industrial metals such as copper, lead and zinc, all of which face the headwinds of the biggest recession the world has seen in a generation. And so yes, there are often waits for silver ordered now, but that in itself should be screaming the value proposition. Ainslie only sell bullion we already own, with no exceptions, and we always tell you up front in our web shop if there is a wait. The wait is production and shipping due to the rampant demand and supply constraints. It currently seems a wait worth waiting for. Well guys, thank you for listening to news again today, this Thursday. Jump into ainslieBullion.com.au for everything gold and silver. Ainslie Wealth for all things crypto, and goldsilverstandard.com for our gold and silver backed cryptocurrency. Hope you enjoy your Thursday, and we'll catch you tomorrow.